asked me what my topic was. I told them I'm talking on the theme. Start, channel the energy within. So I was talking to a colleague yesterday and he said, TEDx is a big deal. Please, don't watch videos. I got confused. I was like, I'm supposed to talk for 15 minutes. What is it? Well, I just closed the laptop and went to sleep. So can we do the first slide? Dreams become reality through action. I graduated from Uniben in 2001. And I read industrial mathematics. So now you can understand why I started with a figure. We'll come back to the story of why I started with those numbers. But I'm going to have a conversation with us about starting. I'm going to have a conversation with us about starting. Can you move to the next slide, please? Understand your inner energy. How many of you, when you leave Uniben today, know what you're going to do? Where's your, or have an idea of what you're going to do? Okay, there are some shocked people. Me, I was clueless. I was honestly clueless. Because first and foremost, I didn't want to come into school to read maths. It was, who fails mathematics in their jam for? No, now, let's be honest. Who failed mathematics in their jam for? How many of you, let's even change it. How many of you actually know that there was a course called Industrial Mathematics in Uniben? Most of us failed jam phones. We wanted to read computer science, wanted to read medicine. I, for one, my dad wanted me to read medicine. I failed biology. He gave up on me, moved to my younger sister. She didn't get into medicine. She read optometry. He moved into the third child. She got microbiology. Oh boy, he raked too. She now changed to medicine. So yes, after that, all of us we were fine. We have a doctor in the house. And then my sister comes along, the fourth girl, first four of us are girls, and says she wants to read architecture. For what? What's wrong with architecture, please? She ends up reading accounting. Oh, don't get me wrong, she's doing fantastic. She's doing very well. She's the financial controller for a Canadian company, but handles the entire European operation. Don't worry, she's doing very well. But you see the thing about starting. She cried every time she had exams. Because it wasn't what she wanted to read. She didn't want to study it. Don't get me wrong, she made the first class in her first degree. She went on to get a master's in international finance. She made a distinction from Leeds University. But she kept crying. Channeling your inner strength. Now, I'll go back to zero. I asked the question, how many of you know what zero actually stands for? Sure, you know they are negative numbers. You do know they are negative numbers. That's why, is zero actually the first number? In mathematics, we have negative numbers. How many of you know that? For me, zero represents a place of rest. That's what zero represents. Zero represents a place of rest. Now, at that place of rest, you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. That's why if you in fact, let me give you another assignment. Can somebody please multiply 0 times a million? Don't tell me what the answer is. 0 times a million. Let's be generous. 0 times a billion. Don't tell me the answer, I will ask for it. Right? Now, I only have 15 minutes, so I think I'm halfway there. Spark off creativity and recognize the idea and passions that drive you forward. I have one appointment is here, Zaviano. Zaviano is one of the most talented photographers, videographer person I know. Many of you have seen his pictures, but you probably don't know he's the one who's a humble guy. Problematic, but humble. Chelsea too, same thing. The guy who did the Spring's Will, he tries to portray me as an intelligent person. We'll take it to the advisement. Now, the second point is focused direction. Now, there's something I always say. Many of us have many talents. But the trick about it is if you are too distracted, you will miss the way. If I have ₦1 million and I know I need to buy a car, I need to build a house, I need to start a business. If I decide to do all three at the same time, what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? There will be chaos. First and foremost, the money is not enough to accomplish all three things or even one in itself. But it does make sense if you sit down, focus your energy and say, okay, what can I invest this ₦1 million into that would generate enough capital, enough money to feed into the other two? So if I was smart and I had a sharp business idea, I would definitely say, okay, the business needs money. So that's most likely what I would focus on. So I may not be the expert on this, but I will tell you that it definitely does make a lot of sense to focus on one idea at a time. That way you're also not distracted with too many things. Potential unleashed. Harness your inner drive to transform claims into tangible achievements. I always say we are very many motivational speakers. Well, when we move forward, we will see what that statement means. Please, next slide. The power of starting small. Take the first step. I want to walk from main 8 to the main auditorium. I will not blink. Contrary to the impression that Benin people, we know how to fly. No matter how you blink, you will not get from main gate to main auditorium. You have to take a step. And like I always say, consistent small steps always lead to leaps and bounds. It will amaze you when you turn back the distance you've come. I lived in B65 while I was in university. I don't know how many of you know B quarters, close to the staff club. So you can imagine having to walk from the minute when they stopped bikes. The truth of the matter is, if I did take the first step, I would not get there. I would still probably be at main gate. But you need to take the first step. Embrace imperfection. At an earlier speaker, an engagement I had today, I told them, I said, success is not perfection. If it was, then somebody who scores 70 out of 100 won't make an A. Success is not perfection. In fact, your imperfections should sharpen those skills that help you start. Your imperfection. Now, a speaker before me was talking and he said he didn't fail 1,000 times. Instead, he found out 1,000 times how things didn't work. For when he found, some way to reorient his mind and say, oh, no, I didn't fail. Embrace your imperfection. Embrace it. There's nothing wrong with you. Absolutely nothing. Build momentum. Now, because I said take small steps, doesn't mean when you've now practiced how to run, still be strolling. You will have the problem. When you've mastered a skill, and skills you can learn, by the way, people are not, some people are born with it, but skills you can learn. Like the gentleman who was making voices. I don't think he was born with Papa Adeboye's voice. Or Bishop Adeboye's, Oyedepo's voice. True or false? Was he born with it? I'd like to see who his mom and his father is. I'll ask them how they did it. So, the next slide, please. Channeling energy with purpose. Find your North Star. Find what pushes you. Find what energizes you. Find what, in a popular student lingo, what gingers you. Many people who are into social media, there's no cost in Unibenda, except if things change now. There's no cost, but that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They found their North Star and identified the deeper purpose that drives them. Align your passion with the vision. See, when you know you have a passion, go and write down your vision. This passion, where is it going to get me to? What is it going to help me achieve? What's the goal I need to get? Don't just say, okay, I have the passion and start running a mess. It doesn't make sense. I have regular conversations with I have regular conversations with him, and I'm always trying to draw him back, even when I see that he's digressing. You always have to align your passion with vision. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. You will always consistently have to go back to the state of zero to start. Settle and start. There's nothing wrong with starting all over, but it takes you back, especially when you've gathered momentum. Now, harnessing creativity with discipline. I would say this is pretty straightforward, and the slides can be shared here. Embrace structure, consistent practice, balanced approach. So if you don't, like for those person in maths, if you don't keep solving questions, you're going to have a problem. So you have to consistently practice what you started. Consistently. Next slide, please. Overcoming fear and resistance. I think this is the problem. This is what actually hinders us from leaving that state of rest. That position where we are now comfortable. We are comfortable, we are at that state of zero. Okay, they'll pay me my salary. Nobody is talking about, oh, what next? You need to move. You need to move. And I'm happy with this generation, and their activity and their interest in quite a number of things. But whether their visions are aligned, some of them are, truly. But the thing is, you need to leave that state of zero and start. Learn. This is your continuous reach out. Learn. Continuously expand your knowledge. Always read, watch videos. I've never done a TEDx. I offered to do this TEDx virtually. Somehow I'm glad they said no, because I'll probably be the first in the history of TEDx to do a virtual speech. Connect, collaborate with others. You don't know it all, so find somebody who knows and does it better than you do. Honestly, it works wonders for whatever your plan is for your life. Reflect, take time sometimes, and look back and tell yourself, am I doing good? Am I doing well? Is this bad? Is this good? But always take time to reflect. Your journey begins now. Take that first step. Just the first step. And before they can say province, you admit it, if that's your destination. Embrace the journey. Tell yourself it is exercise. Find a reason to enjoy the journey. Otherwise, you will give up. You will give up before you ever gain momentum. Keep moving forward. Like I said, we do have negative numbers. Avoid going from 0 to -1. Avoid it by any means necessary. Next slide, please. So this is my conclusion. I read maths, like I said. So this comes to reason. I asked the question earlier on in the conversation. 0 times a billion is what? It's 0. Really? Are you sure? You don't seem so confident. Are you sure? 1 times a billion. 1 times a billion. Can you imagine the difference? Can you imagine the difference between 0 and 1? You've multiplied them by the same figure. But can you see how different and how monumental that difference is? You multiplied 0 a billion, and it was 0. 1. I didn't say 10. I said 1. So imagine if from a state of rest, you take a first step. So that is my charge today. Just start. Just start. You're the one who thinks it's a little step. Just start. If you didn't take anything at all from all the many things, all the intelligent things Prince Will puts together, please take this. Thank you so much.